It is Friday, February 23rd, 11:02 a.m. My phone is actually starting to run out of space from all these videos, which means that I probably need to upload these soon. Plan today is I'm going to try out a new coffee shop, so I'm excited about that. A friend of mine from The Brick, which is the co-working space I normally go to, suggested this place called Baristro, which is actually literally right next door from Brown, which is where I normally work when I don't go to The Brick. Decided to try something new out for lunch today, so I'm actually walking to this ramen shop around the corner. Fun fact about me, I freaking love ramen. I could probably, like, my answer to the question, what's the one meal you could eat for every meal for the rest of your life and not get tired of it? For me, it's ramen. So I'm excited about that. And tonight I have a dinner with some friends. We're sending off some of our Eastern European friends who are leaving Chiang Mai, I think, tomorrow. And that's very sad because they're cool people, but excited for that. And tomorrow morning we're leaving early for Pai, which is like a little mountain village, like 2 hours north of Chiang Mai. So hopefully see some adventures there, get my adventuring in for the weekend, but otherwise trying to stay productive during the day, which is a bit of a challenge. I should probably record a video with some longer thoughts about work-life balance while abroad, but today's not that day because I'm hungry. This is the place. It's called Ninja Ramen. They've literally just opened for the day. Pretty excited. I love Japanese food too. Japanese food is like, I could eat Japanese food anytime, any day. Sweet. Ooh, they have onigiri. Nom nom. My go-to is almost always tonkatsu ramen, which is a pork broth. I don't know what this special toppings thing is, but I'm gonna try it. It's a little pricier. It's like $5-6 for a meal. Kind of getting used to like $1 or $2 for a meal, so that's expensive for me. But you know, I like ramen. It's okay. Looks pretty legit. Soft-boiled egg to be a little more shapely, but broth looks delicious. Haven't tasted it yet. Toppings are good. Couldn't do this better myself. Yeah, they probably don't make their own noodles here, but the noodles are pretty on point. And the broth is very good. I'm pretty pleased. Good place to go for my ramen fix. So I'm trying a new coffee shop today. It's called the Baristro Hotel. I think it's a coffee shop and a hostel. It's very nice in here. Got an upstairs. Lots of people working up there. And, of course, I got my signature Thai tea. I'm liking it here. It's a lot more outlets available than the other place I normally go to. It's like an outlet at every table. I think they really know who they're catering to. So this is pretty cool. All right, Chewbacca back. It's 10:36 p.m. And hold that thought. I need to jump in a car, but I'm actually headed out tonight. Okay, hold this thought. Okay, finishing that thought, and now you can actually hear loud music in the background probably. So here's what's happening tonight. I was sticking around on Tinder today, and I met this girl. She's this Thai girl, and we were just talking, and she said, you know, she likes to speak English, likes to meet foreigners, right? Seems like, you know, she's more or less just like on Tinder to like learn English. Whatever, I don't care. And so I'm like, you know, like how would you feel about hanging out with a foreigner? You know, like, you want to get coffee sometime, whatever, right? I'm just looking for dating experiences, like, you know,
get myself out of my own comfort zone here. And she comes back and she goes, so tonight I have plans to go to Zoe and Yellow, which is like the big club here, where a lot of the locals and a lot of the expats go. Do you want to come? I'm just like, shit. So I respond, I'm like, sure, that sounds fun, right? You know, she says she's going around 10 p.m. I'm out with friends for dinner tonight 'cause it's Friday and some of my friends are leaving. And I've just sent them off, and I messaged this girl and I'm like, hey, what's your plan? You know, just freed up. And lo and behold, she gets back to me. We've exchanged contact information online, and so I'm out here. And behind me, let's see if I can show you. Behind me, back there, that flashing strobe light is the beginning of this clubbing scene. And yeah, I'm looking for a girl in there. Her name is Sroy, I think. I'll probably call her. Okay, so mostly why I'm recording this video is because this is really uncomfortable for me on a lot of levels. Really uncomfortable. Actually, I would say the entire reason I'm out here right now is because I spent about 5 minutes in my living room talking to my roommates, and in the process I realized that I was avoiding this, and that I like just absolutely did not want to come out here at all. I just really wanted to avoid coming out. And there's such a strong amount of resistance that at a certain point I think my other instincts kicked in and went, you're resisting this too strongly, you need to go. So I'm here to kind of get past that. But here are the things that make me really uncomfortable right now. I am not at home in a clubbing environment. Dancing is really not my thing. Like, I've gotten more comfortable with it over time, but dancing on a dance floor, I feel very self-conscious about it normally. There's a lot of people just kind of randomly dancing. You know, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you do, probably, so long as you just kind of move around and you seem to enjoying yourself. But I've always had trouble with that. That's not really my favorite place to be. Secondly, being out there with a girl is also, like, you know, meeting a stranger, you know, a new random person, even if I'm not necessarily like really into her, right? Like, just meeting a stranger and like needing to kind of like feel like you want to make a good impression, right? Like, that's a little uncomfortable. But doing that in an environment that I really suck at, and I know I suck at, and that I hate, I don't hate it, but like, I know I'm not great in it. That is supremely uncomfortable for me. So I'm out here, and I'm probably not going to record too much beyond this, just because I'm going to get in there. And fortunately for me, this is time boxed, because it's 10:49 p.m. right now, and all the clubs closed at midnight, exactly at midnight, by government mandate. Plus, I'm actually leaving for a road trip tomorrow at 7 a.m., so I don't want to be out that late anyway. So this is going to be really uncomfortable for me. I'm about to go like call this girl, try to find her in this huge mess of just people, introduce myself, and then just kind of have this awkward experience I'm imagining. And I'm just gonna try to make the most of it. You know, this is gonna be very awkward and uncomfortable for me, but fuck it. The worst case scenario is that I have an awful time. I just kind of slip away in the crowd. I go back home, and my roommates and I laugh about this later. So I guess I don't have that much to lose. You know, I'm literally never gonna see this girl again, so I don't know why I'm nervous or why I'm just like cringing about this. But anyway, I am now talking again to avoid. So I'm going to shut up and I'm going to go do it. You're not going to see this on camera, but wish me luck anyway. I'll come back with stories, I'm sure. Alright, so that was an interesting experience. I've just said goodbye to this girl. Her name is Sroy. Very nice girl. Also very cute, very attractive. I get the sense that we had trouble communicating a little bit. It took her a little while to tell me, but A, you really can't hear anything in a club. So, you know, it was like very hard to talk. And I guess for me, you know, I'm more of a talker, maybe less of a dancer. I'm not like, yeah, I don't know how to say that other than like, I don't really, I'm not good at getting physical with women. And really for me, I was interested in kind of getting to know someone, get to know a local, kind of understand their perspective. So it's hard to talk because it was so loud. But later on, she told me also that she felt like I was talking too quickly, and so it was hard for her to understand. So I tried to slow down a little bit for her as well. But yeah, I mean, it was a good experience for me. I would say if you asked me 6 to 12 months ago, I would not have actually been at all comfortable on a dance floor whatsoever. Like, at one point I was thinking it would be an interesting comfort challenge for me to go out to one of these dance bars in San Francisco that I'd been to, go back alone, because last time I had gone with friends and they had kind of coaxed me into the things that I was uncomfortable with, like dancing in the middle of the floor, etc. And today, actually, honestly, I felt fine. I even had fun. It was just a very interesting experience in this club. They had a lot of strobe lights going, so you'd be dancing, and then suddenly you'd see like every third frame of someone dancing. It was actually kind of cool. Music was all right. It's not like my favorite kind of music to listen to. Some of it is, but it's very hit or miss for me. I don't really like a lot of like the screamy, ragey stuff. Much more into like, I don't know, things like symphony, right? Like I guess kind of electronic-ish, poppy. But it was nice. It was fun. I definitely am not good with, well, frankly, I'm not good with women. But I'm definitely not good with women on a dance floor, so I had no idea how to like turn that into a good time for her. I don't know whether or not she had a good time in the end. I just tried to be conversational and nice. I have a lot to learn here, so I think there are more situations like this that I need to put myself in. And I will finish my commentary in a minute because I think my car is here. 1 second. Okay, so my phone is running out of space and I just lost probably a good 7 minutes of monologue, which is good because it means that I have to record my thoughts again, and probably, hopefully the second time I'll be a little bit more succinct about it. But what I was trying to say is that it occurs to me that I had a hard time connecting with this woman on multiple levels. There's a language barrier. There's me just frankly not being good at communicating myself like physically, right? Like on a dance floor where you can't hear anything, like my being able to communicate my attraction or even just have fun with like another human being is like not great at that. And thirdly, right, like our backgrounds were just very different, right? Like I'm realizing more and more as I talk to people like this and I have these kinds of experiences that the locals here, I'm very privileged. I'm also extremely well educated. I would consider myself an intellectual. I like to think that I'm very intellectually curious. I like to think I'm a smart guy. I leave those judgments up to you. That's fine. You make your own conclusions. But the kinds of things that I'm used to asking, the kinds of things that I'm used to talking about, I think are very different from the kinds of things that maybe people here are always used to hearing or thinking about, right? Like, for example, one of the questions I really like to ask people in general, but also to kind of get to know women, I like to ask people, where they would go if they could go anywhere. And one of the things that I'm beginning to realize is that that's not necessarily an easy or comfortable question for a lot of people here. And I'm beginning to piece together that the reason for that might be that, a lot of people here in Thailand, not everyone has the opportunities or the money or whatever it is, right, to travel. That's a very, very precious privilege that I have, and I'm very lucky to have it, right? It's not anything that I've necessarily done to get me there. It's more just being born in the right place, being fortunate enough to have parents who gave me opportunities, to having had a very, very strong education, to having had a very lucrative job out of college, things like that, right? A lot of the people here, I get the sense that like they haven't ever left Thailand, and on some level they're not sure if they ever will. And maybe as a result, it's hard for them to think about things like where would they travel, right? I think that it's hard for someone in Thailand, for example, to think about traveling to the States. It cost me $300, $450 to get here to Thailand from the States. And if you're going back, right, like I got a very cheap flight. On average, it's probably $500 to $1,000 round trip, maybe more. And people here are making probably, I'm guessing, so don't quote me on these numbers, but I'm guessing that people here make like 500 to 1,000 baht a day. And it's 30 baht to a US dollar. So it would take a very long time to save up for that. And so I think I take a lot of that for granted. So it's just hard, I think, to bridge that. I think I'm making a lot of cultural faux pas and asking questions that kind of don't make sense. They don't really culturally translate. And as a result, I'm kind of having sort of hollow experiences sometimes. And I feel like actually the experience I've had a couple times is the reaction to the questions I ask is that the girl is afraid to answer because she feels like she's embarrassed that like she feels like she won't impress me. Like the answer is, she thinks the answer is boring, and therefore not like going to impress me. And it's slowly getting through my thick skull that I'm kind of failing to bridge the culture gap there. But either way, this was a very interesting experience for me. I forced myself into a pretty uncomfortable situation. There were moments here, you know, it's on a dance floor. Dance floors are not my favorite places. But as I was saying, you know, like I'm actually a lot more comfortable out there than I thought I was. There were a couple moments back there when I was kind of like looking at her and like trying to dance a little bit with her. But you know, frankly, like I've never really danced with a woman in my life. Just truthfully, I know that's weird to some people. I haven't really had that experience. I don't really know what to do. And I'm looking at her and I'm, you know, one of my problems is that I'm very much in my own head while I'm having these experiences. You know, some of the things that are going through my head are like, she looks kind of bored. She keeps looking at her phone, right? Like, I don't know how to make her, how to help her have a good time with this, right? I don't know how to turn this into something fun as opposed to something cringeworthy. I don't know, right? But what was cool is that I kind of realized that I actually can have fun on a dance floor. I did initially enjoy myself. There were a couple times where she had to go to the restroom and I stayed put and I just danced alone, and I actually just really enjoyed moving to the music, experiencing the environment. And what was interesting for me to see was that counter to all these sort of like, you know, insecure thoughts I have about like, oh, she's not having a good time, or oh, I'm not doing a good job of this, right? Like I realized that like on some level, it doesn't matter. I don't care that much. It's okay, right? It's okay for it to be kind of weird, kind of awkward. That's fine. What is important is not so much my focusing on exactly how much fun she's having, but to focus on making sure that I'm actually enjoying myself. Because at the end of the day, even if it's an awkward date, it could still be a good experience, right? So I realized that I can actually still have fun. So I focused a little bit more on just trying to dance and enjoy the music, and you know, to the degree that I could, try to like share that experience with someone who was there with me. But yeah, I mean, I'm not great at that last part. Not great at it, and that's okay. So anyway, it was an uncomfortable experience, but I'm glad I did it. I think I gained more sort of like cultural insights, and I definitely pushed myself out of my comfort zone, expanded that comfort zone a little bit. I hope that I put myself in more of these situations because I would like to continue learning, right? My goal isn't so much, I don't want people to get the wrong impression. My goal really isn't so much getting into people's pants, as much as it is just pushing the comfort zone, feeling comfortable with women that I find attractive, feeling comfortable expressing my attraction in ways that are exciting both to me and to the other person. These are things I think that I struggle with. You know, I haven't had a lot of practice with because, frankly, I just haven't spent a lot of time with them. So hopefully, despite the fact that I'm traveling for an indeterminate amount of time, I will have more opportunities to play with this as I go. Anyway, it is late. I have to be awake in 6-ish hours, so I'm going to sign off now. But if you're watching this, I guess thanks for watching this. But until next time.